Hello everyone. In this video I will be showing how to extract an Animal Crossing ISO into various files beneath it and then to further extract those, where we're at in Animal Crossing ISO GCM hacking and modding, the roadblocks we're at, and sort of what we're trying to accomplish. So this is all novel stuff. No one, as far as I can see, has sort of delved into this in Animal Crossing. There's been a number of other works with other GameCube games that seem to have been easier to extract. I'm not sure. As you can see in this amnoid.de/gc website, this is a pretty awesome picture. Wireframe Super Mario Sunshine level with the castle in its full glory over there. And then additionally, we have a variety of programs that we're going to try to use with Animal Crossing. First thing, download this SSD Tools. It will have a variety of applications. There will be one called GCM Dump, RARC Dump, YAZ0 Decode Dump, or no, not Dump, just Decode. And then we'll also have BTI Dump, which we'll use later. So download all that, get your Animal Crossing ISO, and then in your command prompt, or just drag and drop your ISO into the program you want. The reason why it's called GCM Dump is because GameCube files are actually GCM files. The reason why they're ISOs now is so that they can run on emulators. Either way, it will work for ISOs. So if we navigate to this file location, I'm going to do this in the command prompt so that I can demonstrate and show off the applications that it creates, or I'm sorry, the files that is created through this application from the GCM dump using the Animal Crossing USA ISO. So where are we at? Desktop. I stored everything in a Project 64 folder. Don't ask. Alright, we're there now. So if we run GCM dump on Animal Crossing USA.iso. Alright, there we go. It found 11 entries. Audio ROM, copy date, Famicom, Force A, blah blah blah, opening, static. So obviously you can see it created a directory folder. If we go in there, we see those 11 files that were created. These interesting ones, they're all interesting, but the most interesting ones are these top three RAC files, which we can use and open and extract later. I want to show off what you do with stuff like this copy date, for example. This is a generic file, so if we try opening it with some hex editor, Notepad++ works. You can see this was the file in which the GCM for Animal Crossing was created, 020801, which I believe is, I think this is actually August 2nd, 2001. But it could be February 8th. But I'm pretty sure it's August. It goes day, month, year. Anyways, doesn't really matter. Then we also have the static string, which is interesting. We can see this is the folder location in which Animal Crossing was created. I think it was either in Japan, but this is the USA version, so this must be just the original name, and then I don't really know, but it's still very interesting. So as you can see, we're able to read those with a hex editor. But if we look at these other files, we will see we are unable to open them. Let's see what happens if we try reading this with a hex editor. We get all this garbage, but there is some interesting information in this garbage. You can see this text says RARC. You can also see O1, you can also see GBA. So RARC is the file format in which it's saved as. O1 is a folder, GBA is a folder in which the rest of this data is stored. So we somehow have to extract it to a readable format, which I'll go over later. I've not been able to extract everything. These map files, I have no idea how to open them. I've tried a number of things. As you can see, I'm able to open it with a hex editor, but I would like to open it with a 3D editor of some kind. And I don't know how to do it. So, yeah. I need help is what I'm saying. Those with expertise in this, if there are any of you, work with me and see if we can figure out how to extract all this information and be able to create a modded Animal Crossing ISO. That'd be pretty neat. And then from there you could even package it into an SD card, format it to FAT32, convert, make sure it works with homebrew, and then you could be able to run it on console. That would be the ultimate goal, and that'd be really cool to see happen. Anyways, let me point out this really fast. See, this file says an SZS file? That's interesting because you'll find this more later. But SZS files are actually formatted Nintendo files that have to be extracted to be understood. The reason why there's an icon here, and you'll see that icon's also over here, this is actually ChatterZ's Mario Kart Wii custom track modifier. Don't get too excited because it doesn't work. The reason why is an SZS. All right, here we are. Let's just see what happens. There's our foresta.rel. Load arrows file may be incompatible with the SZS modifier. That's because an SZS file is the original file converted to some Nintendo file. And as you can see, this actually was called foresta.rel. So the original file extension was an REL file. So we have to drop this SZS file. If we go into Edit Notepad++, we'll see these four texts. As we saw with the RARC, we'll see one that says Yaz0. So that's an indication we may be able to do something with this. So far, I have not had any luck with this file, but I have had luck with these three. So I'll show you how to extract these further. If we go back to these 5 files we downloaded from this website, let's copy them all into our new directory so that we can use them. And let's run them using the command prompt. First, I will show you the Famicom, and I'll show you that it successfully works. Actually, I'll show you that you can do a quick thing. You can simply drop it into this application and it'll run it all without having to do your own typing. Comes in handy. It's not always useful. You'll see why later. So it makes a directory folder, Famicom, and it has a lot of really interesting files in here. There's that game 01 that we saw earlier if we edited with Notepad, and here it has a variety of SZS files with previous extensions like NES, bin files. There's even a QD file, which I have no idea what that is. I've never heard of it. But these NES files are interesting. So if we edit this with Notepad++, this is The Legend of Zelda, by the way, we can see it has the same YAZ0 file. I guess it's just sort of just an encryption file format. And here's everything that comprises of The Legend of Zelda NES. But of course it's all jumbled because we can't read it. So let's go back. Actually, before we get too more in depth with that, let's try to work with this file. So as I already mentioned, that YAZ0 file, here's an application that we can download called YAZ0 Decoder. So that's interesting. What could that do? Well, let's drop our SZS file with the YAZ0 extension onto it and see what happens. Alright, as you can see, it created an RARC file with the original extension REL still intact. So this RARC file, you can go up to our file applications that we got, and you can see there's one called RARC Dump. So first, let's see what happens if we edit this with Notepad. You can see the YAZ0 4-character code is now gone, but it's still pretty much corrupted with yeah. What happens if we drop this into our RARC dump, and what will it do? Okay, so we run that application. None of these have GUIs, by the way, so you have to use the command prompt, aka PowerShell for Windows. So it created this directory, and as you can see, lo and behold, sadly it's an empty folder because it could not be read. So we'll delete it because it has no value. That's where we're at with these files. I need help opening them. So anyways, let's go back to, actually let's extract these next two really fast. and I think you can only do one at a time. So these are our ARC files, which you can use this RARC dump. Create another one for us first. There's another one for us second. So now these all contain information, as you can see. For second, this is all information we can actually use and look at least most of it for now. So let's start with the Famicom as we were doing. Here we can see these .bti files, which if we go back, in fact we will copy some of these file applications over, YAS0 and BTI dump. So we copy those, bring them over here. What? No, I don't want to copy the folder. What did I do wrong? YAS0. Oh, I probably had the folder also selected in that list. Okay. All right. I see what happened. Okay. Anyways, here we go. We got our application files. So we have these BTI files, but if we again edit with Notepad, you can see this YAS0 extension at the front, or encryption rather. So we'll do that same process. Put it through the YAS0, get rid of that encryption, and now you can see it's an SZS0, but it still has that BTI behind it, but it's an RARC file. So naturally you may think, all right, it's an RARC file. Let's use this RARC dump. And you'll see the exact same thing happens as I already demonstrated. I don't know why that doesn't go away every time. But this is an empty folder, so you can't do anything with it. But here is what I found, which is very interesting. You could ignore the fact it's an RARC file, ignore the SZS extension, but you can see there's a BTI, which was the original extension for this file. So what if we just go straight to this BTI dump? Alright, we got this new file called famicom.bti.szs0.rarc, but the actual file extension is DDS, which is an extension you can use. Okay, I thought I had Paint open, but apparently not. Let's open it with paint.net. Okay. There we go. Look at that. We actually extracted an image from the Animal Crossing ISO, which is very, very interesting. We can repeat this process for these other BTI files. First, you got to get rid of the YAS0 encryption. Get rid of the YAS0 encryption. Don't use the RARC dump because that obviously didn't work. So instead, just go straight to BTI dump. BTI dump, and it created some more DDS files. Which, where's my paint.net? I don't know where it is, but whatever. Let's open it with paint.net. So there we go. There's another image, which I've never seen in Animal Crossing before. I have no idea where it lives. But we can open this one as well with paint.net. And I have seen this one. This is in the GameCube memory card data area when you go to the memory card storage area in the GameCube instead of loading the game. And then you can see there's different icons for types of data. There's your NES data. So this is all really interesting stuff. This can all be modified and theoretically repackaged back into this Famicom.arc and then repackaged once again back into an ISO, which of course would be for a later video. But this is just trying to read all these files for now and modifying them. So we have now gone over these BTI files. We have explored these NES files, or have we? No, we haven't explored them yet because we don't have that application file in there. Let's explore that. YAS0 decoder, as we've gone through. Let's put it in here. Okay, let's pick one with an NES format. How about Pinball? Run it through the YAS decoder. Okay, creates a Pinball 1 NES RARC file. Yep, we've been through it. RARC won't work, so let's try opening the original NES file format as it worked with the BTI. So here is an NES NES emulator. So let's try opening. Where are we at? Okay. Okay, let's try opening that file. Right, you can't. It doesn't recognize it because the NES is buried in the RARC. Doesn't matter if you try renaming it either, because it'll just keep it as an RARC file. But as you can see, it did recognize a zip file. So it makes you wonder, what if we make a zip file? Alright, there we go. We made a zip file. Let's open it. Oh, I got it to work. Well, would you look at that? I did it. Awesome. I didn't actually think I was going to work. There we go. Now you can see sort of how to do your own manipulation. Let's get into Forest first. Here, we're going to expand this. This has some interesting stuff. This has a lot of things that have underscore data, underscore table, face boy, palette boy, text boy, which I believe is where a lot of textures are stored. Same with face boy. I don't actually know. Because I can't open them. But I will show you what happens when you open some of these other ones that have underscore data. With Notepad++. Here we have some actual text. This is all in one line, as you can see by one. Oh, I went to the bottom. But anyways, it actually has text from the game that is read from memory at some point. This is mail. This is mail. Are you lacking that special something to bring your room together? If you're familiar with Animal Crossing, that of course is an HRA message. As you go down, you can sort of see all this different text. Special notice for our most special customers. For today only, we have a selection of items you won't find anywhere else. And you'll find these little eyes. This just means it skips a line. So it actually skips 2 lines in this example. Today's special and home skips line decor is none other than the skips line amazing blank, which is filled in by some item if you're familiar with this specific text. So there's HRA stuff. This is actually the message board information when you start a new file. It's all very fascinating. I theorize that this can all be edited. As you can see, are you lacking that special? Let's change this to that special nothing to bring your room together. And then you could save this and then repackage it until you have a complete ISO file. And then when this text arises, are you lacking that special nothing? Will appear. No, I don't want to save it. Not yet. So we can explore all these. It's all very interesting. String data has a lot more strings associated with it. Test, line of text, year, month, date, hour, second, blah blah blah. Translate. Here we have a lot of different random texts. Doing the limbo, writing letters, catching fish, and so on and so forth. All very interesting stuff. Here's a funny one I just came across. Here's the staff credits. Producer, Takashi Tezuka. Nope, producer MP16. Go to the credits, that'll be my name. So anyways, a lot of fun stuff to do with the strings. So I'm able to manipulate all that stuff, but they're all binary files. So let's go with face boy. We can imagine this is probably the face of the boy, or the face of your character. Doesn't have to be a boy, unless boy means something else. If we edit it, we can see there's no encryption behind it. It's just simply jumbled garbage text. And I think I'm actually going to use HXD from here on out, because all those null symbols are replaced with dots. And you can organize this by the 8-bit memory address associated with each character. Yeah. So I don't know what this offset is off of, but wherever the offset starts, oh, it says right there 8C. Oh, no, never mind. That's just the offset within this file. Wherever the offset is, oh, you can go from decimal, octagonal, whatever the hell that one is, and then hexagon. Garbage. Great. So what do we do with this garbage? How do we even work with this file? Well, there's other ways to open bin files using CDs. And of course, these are binary files. So we're going to get into a method I tested, which didn't work, but I want to show it off. So with binary files, you can save these to disks. And then from there, you can open them with software called PowerISO. And we're going to make a new text document to test out PowerISO. Doesn't matter what it's called because we're going to delete it soon. and then I saved the text over here. This is going to become a Q file, CUE. The file, I was testing one earlier. The file we're going to test is faceboy.bin. This is going to be the binary format. Track 1, mode 1, some number, index 100. So if we save this as the original name, Faceboy, but we add the extension CUE, we will have another file there called faceboy.cue. So let's attempt to run this in a disk format to get the information from these two files. So if we open up, actually let's try add. I forget exactly how it works, but I think this is what you do. AC, Animal Crossing, where are we at? Famicom? No. Forest 1, bin, data. Let's add these two. Okay, so we have these two files here. Now we can do things with it. We can extract these files. We can compress them, burn them, mount them. Let's try extracting them. The current files have been changed. You need to save it first. Okay, that didn't obviously do anything. So the current file has been changed. You want to save it? Sure, whatever. So we're saving this as, let's see what happens actually. What is this called? Faceboy. This is going to be an ISO. Okay. We may be getting somewhere actually. I don't think this is going to work, but this is, okay, open the ISO file. It's a non-bootable image, okay? Well, let's see how, well, okay, fine. Let's open up these two. Okay, one at a time. It'll recognize the other one. Alright, this is what I get. The file format is invalid or supported. What this means, it recognizes the bin file or the CUE file, and then automatically couples it with the CUE or the bin file if it's in that same folder directory. But it's invalid. And if we try mounting it, mount image to the F drive, select these two, or fine, select one, it'll recognize the CUE file. Again, same error. This is of course a virtual drive. And if we, yeah, so. Anyways, that doesn't work. That works with other binary files, but not these. However, I thought I just created an ISO file. Where was that? Okay, alright, I found it. Put that in data. Why? Why can I not modify it? Fine, whatever. We'll leave it there. Actually, I don't want to leave it there. Can we copy it? Let's copy it. There we go. Okay, so we found our ISO file. It was just one folder back. So it's an ISO file, so I wonder if we can use this GCM dump. And then we apply it to here. Okay, it creates a folder. But it's empty. So it was not, the ISO file obviously did not work. Alright, anyways, as you can see, that did not work. So I need some help figuring out how to get these binary files to be accessed and modified. We'll keep that there. So moving on, I don't think I can get rid of, I don't know why I can't delete that. Alright, moving on, let's check out for a second. This stuff is, most of it can be manipulated with. Here, this is a list of, let's expand this. We have a series of bin files. These all seem to be ones that change throughout the game. Player room wall, obviously that can be modified. So somehow these are extracted in the game and then modified and then reformatted as a binary file. Not sure exactly how it works. That could have been wrong what I just said. But this is actually stuff that we can modify with Action Replay easily, because this is manipulatable stuff. So I'm not too worried about dealing with these files, but it would still be interesting to access them if we're able to. But here we have a bunch of files that are already in BTI format. So that is a perfect use of this BTI dump. And then we put that in there. But as you can see, there's a whole bunch of them. So we're going to use this fun little technique using PowerShell programming. We're going to access this directory. Okay, we're in AC. We have to go, what's it called? Animal Crossing USA ISO. Animal Crossing USA.iso directory. CD forest second ARC directory /bin2/data. Okay. Now we're going to use some coding for each I in the file format BTI, do BTI dump quote for each I. And look at that, look at it go. It is adding all these different entries for every single BTI file that exists in this folder. Found palette, 192 entries, format to offset. I don't know exactly what the offset means, but the palette is like how many pixels it makes up, I think. Actually, no, that's wrong. I think the pixels are right here. 32 by 32. 192 entries, that's the color palette. I don't know why there's 192. Don't know exactly what that means. Format to, whatever. But as we can see, it made all these different files that can be opened in Paint, as we had already demonstrated. So let's just look at boy 1. So you may be curious, well, where does this image actually appear? Once again, these are the images from the memory card, GameCube memory card area, where it just has different types of saved data. So if we open this ECI 1, these are the train stations, and if you're familiar with it at all, you're like, oh yeah, that's of course my town data. And there should be a bunch of them, 2-5, there should be 15, because that's how many train station versions there are. Here's a Famicom, as we now know is an NES. So if we open with Paint, there's our little NES symbol. Or that's actually wait, is a Famicom an NES? I thought that was something different. What? I don't know. I don't know what that is, actually. Maybe one of you guys knows. Let me know in the comment section. Alright, here's a girl. So if your saved character is a girl. And we have Mura. I don't know what that means in Japanese. But there's Animal Crossing Town data. Fall, spring, summer, winter. I guess it's just the color of the Animal Crossing logo, depending on what season you're in. Very minor stuff that you may not even know existed. Travel data. That's Odakake. Omake is special data, which I think is from original Animal Crossing GameCube memory card, 59 block memory cards that have letters in them that you receive on the second day of playing. Special data. I think that's what that is. Tagami. Oh no, that's what that is. That's that letter with the package in it. I don't know what that special data is. Tagami 2. I know there are 2. Oh, it's when it's opened. Okay. And then finally we have title. And that's the Japanese title, Dobutsu no Mori Plus. And there we go. That's where I'm at so far in Animal Crossing GCM ISO modding. And I don't know how to open these map files, this BNR file, which I imagine is simply a movie file to go through the different scenes of the opening before the demo, basically. Anyways, there's a lot to explore, and I could use anyone's help in opening these binary files. And even during this tutorial, I figured out how to open up these NES files by zipping it. So there's a lot of different methods that one may go about using. So that's where we're at. This is sort of a novel experience so far, and I don't know exactly how far we can get with it, but I found it very interesting because I have never seen any documentation of this anywhere on the internet, and believe me, I've searched. So there's where we're at. Thanks for watching, and hope to hear some interesting comments and discoveries from you guys.